Good morning, Phenomenals. It's Wendy Jacobs here. And this morning I want to talk to you about unconditional love. Now, many of you here in my group, you big-hearted, gorgeous people, are what we traditionally call the empaths. Those of you that have big, huge, loving hearts, that capacity to love and forgive and have compassion is quite a gift. Yeah. And I think this great gift can also be a great weakness. And why would I be saying that this morning? Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about the difference between unconditional love and boundaries. Now, some of you may have grown up or been living your lives with the confusion that unconditional love is loving someone despite anything, which means for many of you is putting up with really poor behavior or being in relationships that are far less than what you're worthy of. And although this is very noble and you guys have learnt to love beyond what most people are capable of, what you are not doing is loving the person that matters the most, which is you. Having that ultimate self-love. And self-love is going to require you to have some boundaries around your love. And this is where I'm going to start talking about the difference between unconditional love and boundaries. Okay? So I'm a big believer in unconditional love. I truly believe that you can love despite the circumstances, but that does not mean to stay in relationships that are not good for you. It means that you can love at a distance. It means that you can let go, that you can find forgiveness, that you can have compassion and understanding, that you can take the lessons learnt. You can still love, because that love that you feel is a gift to you. You get to feel it. If you don't, then of course you're still going to hurt. But if you can do that, that's beautiful. So that is what I define as unconditional love. Your ability to love beyond the circumstances. But the boundary there is to not stay in relationships that are far, 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 far below what you are worth. Right? And so what does this mean, boundaries? Boundaries are those things that we have in place to protect us, our well-being, our sense of self-worth. Now, why would you do that? Well, for some of you that have had to learn this the hard way, you would do that because not everybody has your best interests in mind, okay? In fact, nobody probably does, if we're going to be completely honest. Most of us, if not all of us, are out there for ourselves, taking care of our needs, our wants, our desires, and our emotions. And so maybe even the people that you've been in relationships with that haven't treated you very well didn't do so intentionally, but more out of a need to make themselves feel better. They were taking responsibility for themselves in some way. And so what you need to do is learn to take responsibility for yourself by having boundaries around your love. Yeah, basically terms and conditions. That to be in a relationship with me, these are my requirements, these are my needs, these are my wants, these are my dreams, my desires. And you have every bit of entitlement to want that. You are allowed to have standards in your relationship, right? Don't allow anyone ever to tell you that your standards are too high. You determine your worth, you determine what it is that you want, right? And if the person that you're in relation with doesn't respect that, then that is not the person that you're supposed to be in relationship with, unless you want to be in a relationship where what you want, what you desire, what you need is not respected, and where perhaps you've learnt that the needs, the wants, the desires of the person that you're in relationship with is more important than you. But by having boundaries, by having our rules, our terms and conditions around what relationship is to us, it allows us to protect ourselves, our dignity, our self-worth, our dreams, our goals, our desires, ultimately the types of relationships that we want. The thing is, most of us fear having boundaries because we fear loss. We don't want to lose this person. We don't want them to walk away from us. But the truth is, when you have boundaries, you'll be even more respected and even more loved. Being a doormat does not serve you and will not earn you respect nor love. So this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to really, this morning in this video, tell you that there is a huge difference between unconditional love and boundaries. Unconditional love is your ability to love despite the circumstances, despite the conditions. Boundaries are what you put in place to protect your self-worth, It's a form of self-love of yourself. It's you honoring yourself. I've talked a little bit about why you would want to do that, to protect yourself from harm, but also ultimately to attract the type of relationships that you guys really desire. Now, if you do start doing this, what's going to start happening in your life? What you're going to find is that you're going to start weeding away what I call the time wasters, the people that are not there for your best interest, the people that do not even want the same things as you, the people that are there just to have their needs met, and that's it. And you'll know this. You know it by your level of happiness. Happiness is a huge indicator to the quality of your relationship. It's not love, remember? Love is something that you're doing, you're giving, right? But happiness in your relationship will allow you to determine whether this relationship is good for you. Now, what happens if you go out into the world now, knowing that you have the ability to love, that you have boundaries around the love that you choose to give and receive, and the relationships that you desire to be in, and you start to exercise those boundaries? That you're able to say no to relationships that don't serve you, and yes to the ones that bring you joy and fulfillment. What do you think is going to happen when you start doing that? Life will change. You will start attracting and experiencing more love and more joy in relationships. Yes, this won't happen overnight. This is a new muscle that you guys are going to learn to build. So you may have to kiss a few frogs along the way. But this is a good thing. This is your opportunity to exercise your boundaries, to exercise those muscles, those things that have been weak for you. Okay? I know for me, a relationship that I was in for way too long, right? Years. These days only allows me a few weeks to determine whether that kind of behavior, those kinds of responses, that kind of attitude, those kinds of values are what I want in my life. And eventually it'll be just a few days. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, this is about getting better. It's not about being perfect. It's about having the strength, the courage, the love, the willingness, the vulnerability to get out there, to start dating, to attract the kinds of relationships and the kinds of love you want to experience. Yeah, to ride through those bumps. It's not all doom and gloom. You'll have a little bit of bumps along the way, but this is you learning and growing and exercising your muscles and coming more into alignment with what it is that you truly want in your life and in your relationships. I hope this video has been very helpful to you, dear, beautiful, beautiful phenomenals, you big-hearted empaths. Go out there, love hard, love yourself harder, have some boundaries, protect your self-worth, and give yourself all the love you desire. As always, live consciously and filled with love. Mwah. Goodbye.